They told him he had 5 good years left. That was 15 years ago. He's still standing, still speaking, still living. This is Living with Parkinsons, the good, the bad, and the reality. A podcast about what happens when life throws you something incurable, and you fight back anyway. Hosted by Bryce Perry. Diagnosed at 40, 15 years into the battle. This is the truth behind the tremor. Let's begin.
What should I eat? When should I take my meds? Do I rest now? Do I rest later? With Parkinson's, even small choices can feel like Olympic-level decisions. Welcome back, everyone. Big shout out to my Inner Circle private community and channel members. Hey, you know what? Your support means the world to me. And if you're new here, my name is Bryce, and this is Living with Parkinson's, the good, the bad, and the reality. And, it's all about Parkinson's. Really. And if you're living with it or someone you love is living with it or you're just trying to understand it better, you're in the right place. Today's episode, Parkinson's and decision fatigue, why even small choices can feel like climbing Mount Everest. And it's going to be a power punched episode. So let's talk about it. Decision fatigue. It happens when your brain just gets tired of making choices. And with Parkinson's, that turns the dial up to like 11. We're not just deciding what to do. We're calculating meds. We're calculating symptoms, timings, energy levels, side effects, and whether we can physically pull it all off. So simple stuff like what to wear, when to eat. It suddenly feels like you're solving a math equation in the middle of a tornado, right? And spoiler alert, I suck at math. So I'll be honest, some mornings the thought of making any decision makes me want to crawl back right into bed. Do I go for a walk or do I wait until after my meds kick in? Do I film now or wait till I can smile properly without looking like a wax figure at a museum, right? Even replying to messages can feel overwhelming for me, not because I don't care, but because my brain is in a slow motion and my motivation is somewhere under the couch with the TV, with the lost remote control. So let's talk about solutions, like not magic ones, the kind that make you climb feel a little bit more manageable. So, first of all, you need to reduce the number of choices. I mean, it sounds pretty simple, right? Well, how do you do that? Well, for me, I set up routines so I don't have to think. I just do, right? Same breakfast, same meds, same cup of coffee. Boring? Maybe. Life-saving? Absolutely. Right? You just have to set yourself up for success. Another really big thing that I do, and I've been doing this most of my life, but it's greater importance now with Parkinson's, is I make important decisions really early, right? I try to tackle anything major in the morning before my brain starts to buffer. Now, I don't mean first thing in the morning. I mean, I need my meds to kick in, but I need to get to that really optimal place where my brain is working what I feel is the absolute smoothest. And to be honest with you, if I don't do those big decisions in the morning, I'm going to get really overwhelmed because I'm going to be thinking about them all through the day, no matter what I'm doing. I'm doing small tasks. I'm trying to ignore it. I'm trying to procrastinate. I'm trying to put it on the back shelf just for now, but it's there and it's just weighing on me. And how many have been like me? Have you ever procrastinated right into the next day? Right? I mean, that happens. It happens all the time. So I read a book years and years and years and years and years ago, and I can't remember even who wrote it, but I think what they called it was eat the frog, eat that frog, right? This it's the big decision of the day. So the quicker you eat that frog, the quicker it's over. You don't have to think about it anymore. So make your decisions and big decisions and like calculate, like do them at your prime, when you're the primest, when you're most alert, most awake, every meds are kicking in. And for me, I got two choices. That's like early in the morning. It'd be probably an hour after I took my first dose of meds is probably a really good time for me. My optimum time is after my second dose, about 30 minutes after my second dose. So probably about, 6 hours into my day. That's my optimum time. So that's where I try to schedule my big decisions or think about my big decisions or decide right in those moments. And it's a very, very smart thing to do. So think about that, figure out what it is for you. And yeah, and I'd like to know, let's start a conversation. I mean, in the comments, when do you make big decisions? Are you like me? Or actually, not even when you make big decisions, when do you feel that you're most alert in the day? When is that time? Is it, before your second dose, before your third dose, before or whenever? But when is that optimum time? You really need to think about it because if you don't know, then start thinking about it, right? But if you do know, that's when you should schedule yourself for your biggest tasks of the day or your biggest decisions of the day. So, when is your best time? I'd love to know. Let's start a conversation in the comments. Okay, so tip number 3 is use tools, right? I use reminders, timers, and even digital sticky notes because if I have to remember one more thing on my own, my head might explode. I mean, how many things can your brain remember? Now, pre-Parkinson's, I could multitask like crazy. I mean, I could handle a multitude of things at the same time, make tons of decisions, left, right, and center. And since Parkinson's, and if you don't know, then know this, that with Parkinson's, multitasking is very difficult. It's extremely difficult. For me, it's almost impossible. I have to focus in on one thing at a time. And that's why I have to write everything down and have my to-do notes and my to-do lists and everything to remind me to, and I check them off. That one's done, move on. That one's done, move on. Trying to balance remembering one thing and trying to do another thing, it just doesn't work anymore. And you need to accept that, right? It's not maybe not the same as it used to be for you. You need to accept that and you need to just work within that. You need to work with what you have to the best that you can, right? So work with what you have to the best degree that you can. And to me, that's scheduling it out, writing things down, and knowing when those prime times are to really get into things. And then what do you need to do? Here's another tip. This is a big tip, right? And this is hard. This one's really hard for me as well. But here it is. Let go of perfection. Not every choice has to be the best one. Sometimes the okay choice is the win. Parkinson's already takes enough, and we don't need to beat ourselves up over pizza or salad. What am I going to have for dinner? Is it really going to impact you that much, right? And you know what? What's the worst thing you do when you're trying to make a decision or you're trying to formulate what the plan or the best way to run in this decision? You think about this. What's the worst that's going to happen? So you make the wrong decision, right? Pivot, move on, start again, try again. You're not going to get to the answer unless you make some mistakes. That's all the way. That's the only way there is to it. And here's what people don't always get. Decision fatigue. It isn't just mental; it's emotional. It makes you feel lazy, indecisive, procrastinative. It makes you even feel ashamed. But here's your reminder. This is your reminder today. This is for you today. This is why you made it this far in the podcast. And if you're still here right now in the podcast, could you give me a like, please? Maybe forward this to somebody that you know might need this today. But don't worry. After, right? Right now, let's focus on you. Here's your reminder. Okay, you're doing your best. You're making choices while your brain and body are fighting a battle behind the scenes. Think about that. You're making choices. You chose to listen or watch this podcast. That was a choice you made. And you know what? That was the best decision you made today. And I say that humbly, but it was the best decision you made today. Why? You're investing in yourself, right? You're trying to learn. You're trying to grow. You're trying to live. You're trying to do your best and making decisions that are adding things into your life and positivity into your life and maybe some encouragement into your life and maybe something to reach for and stretch for and maybe you learn something. That's an amazing accomplishment for you today. So remember, you're doing your best. You're making choices. And the whole time, right? If you have Parkinson's or your loved one has Parkinson's, that entire time, you're making those choices while your brain and your body are fighting a battle behind the scenes. Imagine that. Just think about that. And if you choose to shower today, you won. If you choose to rest today, you won. If you decided anything, you're doing better than you think. And that's the bottom line. So you've been staring at the fridge for 20 minutes trying to choose between soup or toast? You're not alone. You're not alone. Hey, all my private community members, my inner circle members, thank you for showing up, for sharing your stories and supporting each other. If you're not a member yet, come join us. Inside the community, you can message me directly, chat with other members, and join our monthly live calls all in one place. And plus, you get early access and bonus content. And if this episode spoke to you, hit that thumbs up, share with someone who's felt that mental load, and drop a comment below. Here's the question. What's one decision you're tired of making every day? What's one decision you're tired of making every day? And until next time, go easy on yourself. You don't have to climb Mount Everest every day. Sometimes just standing up is enough. Now, you go and you do some life and you do it today.